Hopefully that worked.
Yep.
Okay. And also, please feel free to ask any questions in the chat. The chat will be monitored as during the presentation, and we'll record all the questions and answers, and they will be posted on Zoom Grants as well. So sorry to interrupt, Justine.
No worries. All right, let's go ahead and hop on to the next slide. We'll go over the agenda for today. So we'll give you all a background on PASTA and the King County Early Learning Facilities. We'll also give you an overview of the Family Child Care Facilities Fund. We'll go into an overview of the Family Child Care Facilities Fund RFP itself. And then Andrea will walk you through the Zoom Grants application basics. And then at the end, if we have time, we'll take some questions. And as Andrea said, we'll be monitoring the comments box. And so if you would prefer to put your comments or questions in there, please feel free. Next slide. So for those of you that don't know, PASTA stands for the Puget Sound Taxpayer Accountability Account. PASTA directs tax revenue from Sound Transit 3 projects to projects that improve educational outcomes in 3 buckets. So early learning is one, kindergarten through 12th grade is another, and the third is post-secondary education. King County is estimated to receive $318 million in PASTA funding through 2036 to support these programs. We're here today because the funding for which this RFP is for the early learning bucket. Next slide. So early learning facilities has 2 funding categories. The first category is the General Child Care Facilities Fund, and this will support new construction of early learning centers and major renovation projects for non-home-based early learning programs. The second category is the Family Child Care Facilities Fund, and this fund will support home repairs and maintenance on existing family home child care programs. Next slide. So we're here today to talk about the Family Child Care Facilities Fund. And again, this is to support maintenance, repairs, and renovations of existing family child care homes. Eligible applicants must also meet at least one of the following criteria in order to submit an application. So projects that add ECAP or WCCC spaces. ECAP stands for the Early Childhood Education Assistance Program, and WCCC stands for the Working Connections Child Care Program. Second, projects that add additional licensed spaces. Third, projects that improve and enhance the overall safety and quality of the learning environment. And then fourth, projects that support and enable meeting childcare licensing requirements and standards. Next slide. So here we'll talk about the available funding. Approximately $574,000 total is available through PASTA to support the work that's described in the Family Child Care Facilities Fund RFP for the 2022 funding rounds. The maximum award amount an applicant may request is up to $75,000. And this is the maximum amount awarded to any applicant for the life of the program. So just keep that in mind. Applicants can also request smaller awards depending on the scope and size of the project. There's going to be 2 funding opportunities in 2022. The first funding round is happening now, and we will be taking applications all the way up until May 25th. And then there will be an opportunity for another funding round, and that will open in June of 2022 and go through August 25th. So here are some guidelines to keep in mind when applying for these funds. The funds must be used to expand or improve childcare space. All projects must meet the eligible activities listed in the RFP. Awarded applicants must dedicate improved facilities for childcare, and this could be anywhere from 1 to 5 years, depending on the amount of the award. The applicant must also own or lease the property, and the applicant must have current childcare license through DCHS. Next slide. So here we have a list of eligible activities. So the first one is construction, renovation, or rehabilitation of facilities. And this could include classroom space, kitchens, bathrooms, storage, or other space that's associated to the childcare. Any outdoor program or play space, ADA accommodations, and retrofitting. The second one are projects related to the pre-development of projects. So costs that would include pre-design or permitting costs. And then third, safety improvements and or program quality enhancements. And then fourth, improvements and repairs to maintain your licensing compliance. Next slide. Here we have listed ineligible activities. These activities are not eligible for this funding. Renovation costs that are not directly connected for use in a licensed or planned to be licensed space. Renovation costs for any space that's not used by children or for the purposes of the licensed childcare program. Acquisition of existing facilities, property, or land. Reimbursement for prior deferred maintenance or repairs. And then the purchase of program supplies or furniture. So this proposal process for this RFP will be a phased approach before any awards are determined. The steps and phases are outlined above. So the RFP is issued now. Proposals can be submitted at any time during the process, but no later than the deadline of May 25th. The proposals are reviewed and scored for eligibility as they are received. And once eligibility is determined, a home visit, consultation, and inspection with the King County engineer is scheduled to assess the proposed project. The proposer or applicant and engineer will determine a scope of work and a budget. And keep in mind, these steps can take up to 90 days. Once it's approved, an award announcement will be issued to the applicant. And then once a King County contractor is selected and work is approved, the awarded contract will be finalized and work begins. So all applicants are strongly encouraged to submit as soon as possible because the applications will be screened and reviewed in the order received. Next slide. So Andrea is going to take it from here and talk about the timeline and then the Zoom grants process.
Yes, thank you, Mona. So here is the high-level timeline for the RFP for round one. It was issued on March 14th. Today, we're having the pre-application info session. The final day to submit written questions, either through Zoom grants in the contact admin tab, or you can submit an email directly to me. The email will be in the last slide, but the last day to do that would be May 13th. Then all proposals, the last day to submit your proposals for this round one is on May 25th at 2 p.m. We do that during the middle of the day in case there are any technical issues or other issues. There will be someone available to help you. We'll then start the proposal screenings, obviously from when it was released all the way through June 30th. Notifications of the awards will be July 1st through August 31st. And anticipated contract start date will vary according to each individual project timeline and is subject to change depending on the project as well. This is a high-level overview of the rating criteria and weighting. Each section is worth a total of the weighted points on the right-hand side for a total maximum points of 135. So the high-level areas are program mission and overview, equity and social justice, and then there's a bonus with the photos. And you can find more information about the scoring criteria and the scoring rubric in the RFA document attached in Zoom grants. So proposals must be received using Zoom grants no later than 2 p.m. on May 25th. Proposals are responsible for regularly checking Zoom grants for any updates, including amendments. We will try to send out a notification when amendments are uploaded. However, it is encouraged to check Zoom grants regularly for any additional documents or amendments. If you are experiencing technical issues, please first contact me and I will try to assist you or troubleshoot with what the issue is. If we can't figure out the issue, then I can reach out to the Zoom grants help desk and they're pretty responsive and we will get the issue solved. If Zoom grants will not be an option, if it's not working, then we can accept applications through email, but we do encourage that you try to do it through Zoom grants. You should allow sufficient time when you are submitting your proposals, just in case there are any technical difficulties. And that's why we encourage all proposers to please submit as soon as you can so that we can get the process started and that if there's any issues that we can resolve them. This is just a snapshot of what Zoom Grants login page looks like if you are new to the Zoom Grants system. It is a third-party web-based system that the county uses for our procurements. If you have an existing account, this is where you will log in, put your username and password. If you are new to Zoom Grants, you just click on this new Zoom Grants account and you can set up a username and password. The Zoom Grants link that's sent out, you can go to it to view the RFP at a high level, but to be able to apply to the actual RFP, you'll have to create an account in Zoom Grants here. Once you're logged into the RFP, I know this is really tiny writing, but this is what it'll look like. It has the descriptions, the timelines, and all documents here in this main page. When you're ready to apply, you will come down here into this blue button and here's a better view of that. And you can just click on apply now or start application and then go through each tab and go through the whole, answer each question, upload all of your documents, and you should be ready to go. One nice thing about Zoom Grants is as you're going through it, it automatically saves. So you don't have to hit save anywhere and you can log out and log back in and keep going on your application. Once it's final, then you can hit submit application. And it also checks to make sure that you have completed all the required fields before you submit. And this is just another view of when you come into Zoom Grants, where you can go back into your application and keep working on it as needed. Again, if you have questions or have issues with Zoom Grants, please reach out to me as soon as you can to this DCHS contracts@kingcounty.gov email right here. And I will be happy to assist you and try to troubleshoot any issues that you're having with Zoom Grants. So with that, that was a lot of content and information. We will open it up to questions. Please use the chat feature or you can unmute yourself and we will be recording all of the questions and posting them on Zoom Grants as an amendment. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free.
Hello? Hi.
Hello? Yes.
I just have a question. Is that the same Zoom grant with the Department of Commerce or is this different?
This is different. This is through King County Early Learning Facilities. The Commerce grant is different.
Okay, I can apply both. Is that possible?
It depends. We won't be funding the same projects. So if you have a different project, then, so if you applied for the Commerce grant and they approved a project, if you're applying for the King County grant, it would have to be a different project. So you
Okay,
can
thank
apply
you.
to both, but they have to be different projects. that
Oh,
help?
okay, I got it. I got it. Not the
Okay.
same project.
I have a question. So for one project, can it be like the kitchen, the bathroom, and like, would that be considered one project?
It can be multiple projects, but the maximum grant award would be 75,000. So if all three projects add up to 75,000, the maximum, then yes. If it would cost additional, then we would only award the projects that would stay under the 75K. So like the bathroom and the kitchen, or just the kitchen.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
My question is, this grant, do I have to have money to before you guys allowed me to give the grant, or I mean, how that works? I don't hear that. Do I have to have money? Yeah, in order to get this grant to replace our. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you asking if we'll award the funds and then you can do the work? Is that what you're asking?
No, my question is that like the commercial, they say that you have to have money in order to get the first you have to come out with your own budget, then we're gonna pay you back. Is that what you guys do at the same time, or no, it's different?
No, that's different. So the process for this is a King County engineer will actually help you come up with a budget and a scope of work. You would just, if you're eligible for the grant, so if you have a child care license and you meet ineligible activities, which means you have a project that's for the child care space, you'll be connected with a King County engineer who will come out to your home and assess the project and help you come up with a budget so that you don't have to figure that piece out on your own. The budget worksheet is included so that you can sort of play around with that and have an idea before the engineer comes out of what you want done and maybe an approximate amount, just to help you budget and to help you know, oh, I'm gonna have to spend 10,000 or I'm gonna have to spend 50,000, and then the engineer can just help refine that scope of work and bid for you, with you.
Oh, so where are we gonna get that engineer phone number and this information? Are you guys gonna provide it, or we have to like, where are we gonna get that information?
Once you're eligible, so once we go through all of the applications, if you're eligible for the grant funding and you meet the criteria, we'll contact you and connect you with the engineer.
And that could be you can like do it like multiple project, right? You don't have to be like a one or two.
Yes, you can have multiple projects up to 75,000.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. So is the awardee has to wait until they get the award to start with the work, or it's okay to complete the work that they already started with a project?
You would have to wait until your project gets approved. So this is after the engineer comes out and helps you create a scope of work and a bid. And once that's reviewed, you would get a notification saying, yes, your project is approved, we can move forward. And then the work begins. So we're not able to reimburse for work that's already being completed prior to you getting an announcement that you got the award.
Okay.
So I would wait.
Okay, what about like finishing the work they already started with another grant and they couldn't cover it? Is that allowable?
That's allowable as long as the work has stopped and we're not reimbursing for any work that has continued beyond that before you getting the award.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
So the engineer have to come first, you have to apply in, you have to become eligible, or the engineer will come first. I'm kind of confused.
Yes, Andrea, could you put it on slide 10? So here's the process. And so once your application is reviewed and you're determined eligible, then we'll connect you with the engineer, and the engineer will set up an appointment with you to look at your project.
So he's just gonna look at it, or I can say, oh, I need my kitchen to be done, and he's gonna draw, he's gonna make the, the estimation, or he have to say, oh, is he gonna say that, oh, this kitchen, I mean, if I say I need the kitchen to be done, is gonna follow with that, or how he's gonna do when he come? Like, I'm kind of a little bit.
Yes, he would have all the tools necessary to determine what kind of work needs to be done. And of course, if you're saying you need a kitchen rehab, then he'll be able to help you list all of the things that need to be done and how much that will cost. And then once that's done, it'll go to a review again, and then it'll have to be approved. And if it's approved, then we'll announce that to you, and then work can start.
Can I ask you a question? How long it take for the application to process to get approved? So when they gonna expect to get the approval letter? Or
Sure, it can take up to 90 days from the visit. All of the applications will be reviewed between, sorry, I have to go back to my slide here, between March 14th through June 30. So we're hoping to get all of those visits in, and it depends on volume as well. So if anything changes, we'll let all the applicants know, but it should take up to 30 to 90 days before you can get an appointment with an engineer.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question with regards to the proposal. When they first apply, does the proposal have to include the cost and everything, or just to lay out what they want to do, what they want to renovate?
Sure, you can do either. You could do both. You could say what you want done, and if you kind of have an idea of what that might cost, that's helpful. There is a budget template that's included to kind of help with that, but the engineer will actually be able to go through and assess how much it will cost and what the project will entail.
So they could just put in the things that they want to renovate or update or do.
Yeah, and I would put it in descending order. So what project you want most, and then, what's your second and third?
I have another question. So how will reimbursements work? Will you be giving a check out to those providers to pay the contractors, or will you guys be sending a check out to the contractor that already did the work?
The check will be issued to the contractor once work's completed.
Okay, thank you.
So regardless, this question is all the work has to go through the certified contractors, or some of the provider can do some work by themselves, like painting or?
The work has to be approved through a King County contractor. Clark, are you on the call?
Sure am.
Clark, do you think you could answer the question about King County contractors, approved contractors?
Sure. The county has a list of referral contractors that have been pre-screened to do business with the county, and not that any general contractor can give a bid and participate, but there may be some screening that needs to be done through county risk management to get those contractors on board. Is the question, how does the contractor get paid?
I think the question was, could they do their own work or could they hire their own contractor?
Right. So yes, the contractor that is not on the county referral list can be hired or contracted with. They just need to provide us some information. Self-help, I think, is the definition of what you're talking about, and to where you would or the applicant would do their own work. That's on a case-by-case basis. If we evaluate that that work can get done in a reasonable amount of time and with industry standard result in the work that's been, you're requesting to do. So that would be a maybe.
I also wanted to confirm something, and that's in regards to what you've just explained. You are talking of a pre-screened list of contractors that work with the county. Is this list going to be availed to the applicants?
Yes, as part of the procurement or bid process, it would be.
Okay.
You would either contact the, so in the construction phase of it, a bid and proposal package, which describes all of the work that would be bid upon, it would be presented to the applicant and is a written form describing in an exact way the work that is allowable under the program, and so that we'll get bids back from contractors that are bidding on the same type of work and the same work that's been described. And so the bid proposal package will be provided and known ahead of time, and then it would go out to bid with licensed and bonded contractors.
The second, thank you so much for that explanation. The second issue that I also wanted clarity on is from the presentation, we have been told that there will be 2 rounds. The first round, which is open, that's from 10th of March to 25th of May. And the other one, that the second round that runs from June 2nd, I think, to 25th August. What's really the line between these? I mean, what's the difference when we talk of first round and second round? Does it mean that when I miss round 1, I can go for round 2, or what does it mean to the applicant here?
Yes, that is just to give folks the opportunity to be able to apply for the funding. We realize that sometimes the funding rounds aren't open long enough and folks might miss the deadline. So we wanted to give another opportunity in June in case there have been others that have missed this funding round to be able to apply for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry to late to ask you, when is going to be start the pre-application due date?
You can apply for the funding now, and we'll be taking applications all the way up until May 25th.
Justine, there was a
Submits for application. What are the requirements? I just need to open a Zoom grant account and I just apply, or there are specific preparations that I need to do, like maybe get some documents or something like that?
Yes, you have to have a current childcare license issued through DCYF. I think many times this can be confused with a business license. It's not a business license. It's the actual document from DCYF saying that you were licensed for however many kids. In this case, you would probably be licensed for 6 to 12 kids, being a family home daycare. That is what we're looking for. And then an eligible activity. So any of the eligible activities that we had listed, if it's in addition to space for a classroom for the childcare program, that's eligible. So you really just need to have your license and a project that's eligible.
You've mentioned 6 to 12 children. So are you in this grant specific on the number of children that an applicant might be having during the time of application?
We're not specific on the amount of children, but we're very specific on whether or not you are a family home child care provider, because this funding round is not for early learning centers or any larger facilities like that. That'll come in a different funding
Okay.
source.
Justine, there was a question in the chat about the two separate funds, GCCFF and FCCFF. Are the 2 rounds this year only for FCCFF?
The 2 rounds that we are talking about today are for the FCCFF. The GCCFF, that funding round will likely come out in Q3, and Enterprise will be releasing that RFP.
So is all the information listed in King County website related to this grant? Or is there any other website that we can go?
You can find the RFP and the Zoom grants under the tabs. I want to see if there's, Andrea, is there a slide that shows that on here? Maybe slide 15.
I can put the link in the chat, or if you want to put the link in the chat, the Zoom grants link.
Yeah, I think that will be really helpful.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Oh, and can we find this PDF slideshow on there as well?
Yes, the Zoom, this slide deck, the recording of today, and also all the questions and answers will be uploaded into Zoom grants under the libraries tab.
Thank you.
Justine, do you mind pasting the Zoom grants link?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
While I'm presenting right now.
Oh yeah, no worries. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Will do. Are there any other questions? Okay, well, if there aren't any other questions, we'll end the conference, but please know that you can submit questions all the way up until May 13th if you do have them. And as Andrea said, you could reach out. The email is dchscontracts@kingcounty.gov. And I hope everyone has a nice day, and thank you for attending.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.